Welcome to Topic Tone. We're going to get right to it with our Pokemon Rusty playthrough. And I do have the Impossible Evos turned on for the Universal Pokemon Randomizer in this run, just to make it a little bit more true to what I think the team was potentially able to do. This is a team built of all of Rusty's Pokemon that were available in Fire Red, and this is like the best of it. I did a decent job at making a good, well-rounded team, and I would hope that other people think so as well. That is Rival Blue and Charmander down. Alright, let's get into Brock. Brock is going to send out his Geodude. We're going to send out our Bulbasaur, with or without the birth defect. We're going to Vine Whip and Oko, the Geodude. Now he's going to send out his Onix, and we're going to just not really play differently. We're just going to keep going with the Vine Whips. We get hit with a Tackle, and Vine Whip Oko's Onix. Hopefully you guys like this video. I put a lot of time and effort into it, and I really hope that it pays off. Alright, here comes Cerulean Rival Battle on the bridge, the Nugget Bridge. Alright, we're going to send out Geodude, who's going to be our main answer for Pidgeotto. He's going to Gust, not doing much damage. Yeah, like 3 points. We use Rock Tomb and miss. We go again. And Rock Tomb manages to hit, taking a decent chunk out of Pidgeotto's life and dropping its speed. That's good. Alright, we're going to Rock Throw now. But we get hit with a Sand Attack before we can. And it Rock Throw hits and finishes off Pidgeotto. These story battle montages that I'm making are mostly just the battles of the main storyline of Fire Red and Leaf Green. Hopefully you guys like them. Put a lot of work into them. Okay, we're going to go for a Magnitude on Charmander. We get an 8. Nice. And Geodude's attack, of course, misses. So we're going to go in with another one, hoping to get hit with a Metal Claw, and it brings us down to 14. Magnitude 5. Super effective, but still in the green. So we're going to Rock Throw, but he's going to Metal Claw us, leaving us on 1 HP. We hit Rock Throw and delete the rest of Charmander's health. Alright, here comes, I'm gonna go ahead and guess Abra. Yeah, Abra. Alright, so we're gonna choose to stay in, because all Abra can do is teleport, and it's really not a big deal. One Rock Tomb, and drops Abra's speed and its health to the mid-yellow. Used another Rock Tomb, hitting it, and it goes down. I was surprised about how good Fearow was in this run. It's coming up and you'll see it, but I had never used one before, and it worked out pretty well. Same with Beedrill, really. They both really kind of pulled some weight that I did not expect for them to pull. Especially Fearow. Okay, we're going to send in Spearow, do a Fury Attack, 1 hit, 2, 3, 3. Okay, so we got it down pretty far with one Fury attack. We hit 3 times. We're going to go for it again. And hit it 1 time and end up Rattata is down. Defeat Gary. And alright, we are into the Misty fight now. She's going to send out her Staryu. We're going to send out our Beedrill, Pikachu. And we're going to Twin Needle after using Poison Sting. I should have just gone for Twin Needle initially, but it's one of those things like you see yourself play and you realize how you could have done it differently. But we did actually manage to inflict poison on the Staryu, so that's good. We get hit with Water Pulse hard, but it doesn't do a ton of damage, I guess. Twin Needle 1 and 2, and that is Staryu in the bag. Beedrill's going to gain some XP. And she's going to send out Starmie next. We're going to Twin Needle, but it outspeeds us, so it's going to Water Pulse us. 1, 2, and it's going to live on a sliver, of course. Alright. But we inflict poison. Okay, that's good. I always forget that Twin Needle can have a chance to inflict poison on a Pokemon. That should be Misty down. Guessing we're going on to the SSN rival fight next. Alright, Gary's gonna send out Pidgeotto. We send out our Geodude. We're gonna Rock Tomb. A flying move doesn't do much against Geodude, thankfully. And we managed to nearly one-hit KO Pidgeotto. It uses Quick Attack on us, not very effective. We go for another Rock Tomb. We hit. Alright. He's going to send out Charmeleon. We're going to keep it on Geodude. Alright, we're going to go for a Magnitude on this one to see if it'll hit. I should have gone for a Rock Tomb because it would have dropped speed and been super effective still. But then Magnitude manages to hit Charmeleon, thankfully, and almost one hit kills it. But it's going to use Metal Claw, and it's going to wipe out a decent chunk of our health. Geodude isn't in a horrible position yet, but yeah, one Metal Claw crit would still deal some major damage. But we managed to take out the Charmeleon. Alright. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and guess he's gonna send out his... Okay, it's gonna be Kadabra. We switch to Pikachu, the Beedrill. Go for Twin Needle. It hits Confusion first, still somehow outspeeding us, even though we've been trying to EV train throughout this entire run. But one hit makes Kadabra go bye-bye. Rival's going to send in a Raticate next, I believe. Yep. This is the one that Gary cut from his team, I'm guessing, because it didn't show up after this fight, which kind of makes sense. Raticate's kind of good, but it's not at the same time. It's good if you're like probably doing like a Nuzlocke or something, just because of its coverage and its ability to Hyper Fang and Super Fang. But other than that, it's not the greatest. I used one in a run after this, and I wasn't too impressed with it, but I wasn't also like, oh my god, this is awful. Like Parasect. Alright, Lieutenant Surge is next. He's going to send out his Voltorb. We're going to send in Graveler. We're going to Magnitude. It hits us with a Sonic Boom, outspeeding us. No surprise there. Voltorb's insanely fast from an Electrode, I believe, for this gen. Alright. Surge's gonna send in his Pikachu. We're gonna stay in on Graveler. It's really our only option. We're gonna keep going on Magnitude. Pikachu's gonna double team to raise its evasion. So it's stacked 1 so far. Let's use Magnitude. Magnitude 9. Wow, that was a good one, but it misses. Great. Alright, it's going to double team again to stack its evasion even further to a +2. And we are going to go in for another Magnitude because it's really all we got. And it one shots Pikachu, no shock. Pun intended, I guess. Alright, we're going to get Raichu sent out, and we're going to keep in. Like I've said, it's really our only option is to beat it with Graveler. Since I don't believe we have one of our Pokemon yet that doesn't come along until the tower. Ooh, we get a Mag 10 on Raichu. And hit. Sweet. That's Lieutenant Surge in the can. We should be good to go to Rival Pokemon Tower next. And hopefully it goes well. Yep, Gary's going to send up Pidgeotto. We send out Graveler. Graveler's going to use Rock Tomb. Lowering its speed and health down to the red. Pidgeotto's nearly gone, and now its speed's dropped past where Graveler is, and we actually get the first hit and Rock Tomb it right out. Alright, Charmeleon's up, and we're gonna Magnitude, I believe. I believe at this point I was like not sure if Rock would still do super effective, but I should have remembered it does. Honestly, this is my first playthrough in 20 years, coming back to Fire Red and Leaf Green on this one, and this is Fire Red, and so if I make any suboptimal plays, that's also a play. I'm just really rusty. No pun intended on that one. Charmeleon's going to use Metal Claw on us. It doesn't do much for Metal Claw, but we get Magnitude 8, and Graveler's attack misses. Now go for a Rock Tomb. It's a super effective Metal Claw on us, but we Rock Tomb and it misses again. I was tempted to self-destruct. Alright, we're down to 10 HP, so it's looking kind of even. Magnitude 6, it misses. We're looking for, we got our HM Mule in there with Paris. And we send out Fearow because we know that one good hit should be enough to take it out, and one peck should do it. Thankfully, Furo does manage to do it. I should have just self-destructed. It's not a Nuzlocke, so why not? Alright, now we're already in on Execute versus Furo, which is our lineup. It uses Hypnosis after we land a super effective peck. We can go for another peck to hopefully finish it off, and we do. Alright, so Execute is down for this fight, and we're going to send in Kadabra next. Okay, that's cool. Send in Beedrill. This is what I started eventually playing on set mode, just to make it a little more challenging. Granted, none of the 3 runs I'm playing that I've played so far I've done set, but in my own runs after that I've done some. Alright, we're going to get our accuracy down, but we still managed to hit a Twin Needle. One-shotting it. That's good. Yeah, this story battle montage took quite a while to do, so I hope you guys like it. Alright, we're going to send in Bulbasaur next. The Bulbasaur, who's now an Ivysaur. And he's going to send in Gyarados. Intimidate cuts our attack, but I believe it's not going to really matter. We miss. Of course we miss. It's going to thrash us. It doesn't do much damage. Ooh, it gets confused. Alright, so we're going to... What we should have gone for is a Leech Seed at the start after our Sleep Powder. But this is the first Gyarados I've faced in a while at this point, and it's really rusty. Again, no pun intended. Gyarados is asleep, and this one actually seems to want to stay asleep, so we're going to try to keep whittling it down with Raised Relief. And we managed to take it out. Go to level 30, and we win. Alright, on to Erica. She's going to send out Victory Bell first. I believe that's who she always leads. We're going to switch to, because we weren't prepared for the gym fight, I presume. Even though I should have been. Oh well. It's going to Giga Drain Furo. Dealing a decent little chunk of damage. We're going to peck. And deal some good damage on Victory Bell. It's going to try to stun Spore us, but it misses. We go for another pack. Killing it. Furo gains a level. Alright, she's going to send out Tangela next. We're going to stay in on Furo, I believe. Oh, in green. But with that much damage output, we should be fine. It's probably not going to heal up that much. I'd imagine, yeah, it didn't heal up much at all. So one super effective peck does not put Tangela out again. Well, technically 2, but either way. She's going to send in Vileplume next on our Furo. And we're hoping to sweep, I'm guessing. And we pack, and it does half damage on her. Super effective damage, but it takes her down to half. She lands a stun spore on Firo, paralyzing us. We're gonna peck again. Because we don't really have any status moves that are gonna be super helpful at this point on Firo. If we ever do. I think Thief was about the only move I had for slight coverage, but I was mostly using it to get items. And we defeat Erica. Now it's Giovanni at the game corner hideout. We send out Chop. It's gonna break. But Onyx uses Rage and outspeeds us. We managed to land a break after taking a little bit of damage, knocking it down to close to half. We're gonna break one more time, see if that'll help. And it deals enough damage to take it down to the high red. Alright, it's gonna go for bind and miss. Chop's gonna use break for a third time, and this should be enough to knock out the Onyx. And yes. Okay, so next is going to be his, I believe, Rhyhorn. Yep. Okay, so Giovanni's gonna send out Rhyhorn. We're gonna break one more time. Yeah, I did everything for this run to make it go as well as it did. I tried to get coverage from the game corner moves. I tried to get EV training in. This is the first run I ever did that was like that. And it's the standard of how I do things for the most part. We take out Rhyhorn. And Kangaskhan is coming out, which should be enough to knock out Chop. As it outlevels us, and it's gonna outspeed us. It's gonna hit us with a Mega Punch. And yep, Oko us. Alright, we're gonna send in Beedrill. As you know, Brick Break does super effective damage, so we're going for it. Dark move, but it manages to flinch us with a bite. We go for another Brick Break, and we manage to land it. Now let's see how much it's going to do. It does not do enough. It's super effective, but it did not do much, because Beedrill is just not great. But I still love it. Go for another Brick Break. It's going to bite us. We're going to get not flinch, thankfully, and we're going to Brick Break. And it's low red. Kangaskhan's close to being done. We get hit with another bite. We score another Brick Break. And that should be Giovanni number 1 or 2, I think, at this point. If this is game corner still, I'm not positive. Yeah, here's the Silphco rival fight. In this one, I managed to go in with at the level cap almost for some of them, but not quite. I'm surprised I made it through this fight, because usually this fight's really rough for me. But I managed to get through it, I'm guessing, because it's here. So I forget these runs after I do them. Some moments stick out, and then sometimes the rest is just kind of blah. The grind really kills the memory making aspect of Pokemon, in my opinion. I mean, you'll remember certain moments, but not always. Alright, we score 2. A Rock Blast and a Rock Tomb, and almost got Pidgeot down. It's going to keep wing attacking and getting crits on us. We're going to Rock Blast. And finishing off Pidgeot. with Golem. Armachoke leveled up as well. Alright, let's see. We're going to send in Furo. He's going to send in Execute. We're going to Peck. Because we still have not unlocked Drill Peck, even though I probably could have with the level cap that I was given on this. We get a Paralyze and a Confusion off on us. We hit another Peck. It confusions us again, actually managing to confuse us. Furo's confused and paralyzed now. Not a good spot. But we managed to land a Peck through it. Alright. Execute is down. He's going to send in Alakazam. We're going to switch out to Beedrill. Beedrill's, of course, going to use a Twin Needle to knock it out, most likely. Yep. Didn't manage to kill it, but it did manage to poison it. And this must have been a low roll, because usually it does OHKO it, but the poison didn't affect us with Synchronize, so we managed to knock it out with poison damage. And he's going to send in... who? So we're sending Golem, so I'm guessing Charizard? Yeah. He hits us with a Flamethrower. Not very effective. We hit a Rock Blast. One hit almost does half. A little over half, and 2 hits manages to finish Charizard. Okay, so Gyarados coming out next. We're going to send in our only decent type option, which is Venusaur at this point. We're going to go for a Sleep Powder, and it misses. But Venusaur is going to take the feature side attack. We go for another Sleep Powder, and it misses again. We're going to get hit with a Dragon Rage, knocking us down to 11. And we're still trying to inflict status, stupidly. After we got one fail, we should have just continued with attacking moves. But now it's on a timer, so that's good. Alright. Pikachu's going in. We use Aerial Ace. Get a crit. Go for another Aerial Ace. Chipping it down. Lose a little more health with Poison. It uses Bite on us. We go for another Aerial Ace, and this is enough to knock out the Gyarados, beating the rival at Silphco. Alright, here comes the Giovanni Silphco battle. That makes sense. Alright, so Nidorino, we're going to send in Chop, the Machoke, because I haven't gotten yet around to renaming it. Alright, get hit with that twice. We're going to Brick Break one time to see how it does. It doesn't do very much damage. So we're going to switch. Trying to think of what would be good against it. Hits us with Poison Stain. It doesn't do much. We're gonna Razor Leaf. Yeah, sorry. Nidorino's going to poison sting. It's not doing much because of Venusaur's poison type along with its grass typing. It's going to keep going for Fury Attack to try to whittle us down. Managing to score 4 so far. Yep, 4 hits. We're going to raise relief one more time, hopefully knocking it out. Poison types were a real problem in this run, I remember that. Poison and Gyarados are both a problem. And without any of Rusty's Pokemon like Vanillite or Bidoof, this run got a lot more complicated. It's like, I believe Bidoof couldn't learn a water move. We were sorely lacking on water for the most part on this one. Water Pokemon would have made it a lot more well-rounded, in my opinion. Fire wouldn't have hurt either. But it's a Venusaur team. It makes sense. It kind of struggled a little bit on it, but with what my options were at least to take. Alright, we're going to keep going on this fight. We landed a Leech Seed on Nidoqueen. We're slowly going to heal up a bit. And we're going to raise relief. It probably spam and raise relief for the rest of the fight. Get hit with a hard body slam that hits us down to 3 and paralyzes us. Ouch. But we heal up a little bit with Leech Seed, dealing a little bit more damage. We're going to switch out. And we don't really have a good answer. So we go with our option that we know won't get poisoned, but it will still get wrecked. And it paralyzes us. Now our Beedrill's paralyzed, but it's recovering a little bit of HP with Leech Seed. We're going to double team. Tail Whip hits us, lowering our defense. We double team just to try to stay away from it. It Leech Seeds again. It gets the Leech Seed off again, and we heal up, and Nidoqueen actually manages to get stalled out. Whew. That was a rough one. Didn't have any good options into that. Alright, now we're gonna send, he's gonna send in Rhyhorn. We're gonna Brick Break. And we're gonna faint. Alright, we're gonna send out our Machoke. And we're going to Brick Break. Stab fighting. Doing half damage. Or half the life of Rhyhorn, I should say. And one more Brick Break is enough to knock out the Rhyhorn. Alright, here comes Kangaskhan. And we're thinking, what the heck are we going to do? We're going to Brick Break. Get hit with Rage, though. Get hit with a Mega Punch. Should be enough to knock out, knocks out our Machoke. Alright, we're going to send in our Fearow, knowing it's got good high attack. And we're going to Peck. And not do hardly anything. Alright, we're going to keep going with Peck, because it's still doing chip damage. Hit with Rage, knocking us down to about half life, and one crit Peck manages to knock out the rest of Kangaskhan's HP, beating Giovanni. Sabrina. Our whole strategy here was just Beedrill. Really, that was it. This is the last fight I believe I used Beedrill in, just because it stops being super effective in the game to really use, after a certain point. About the midway, it really falls off. I've seen people with items still manage to clear the game with nothing but a Beedrill, so I got a little bit of respect for Beedrill, but it's mostly a stall strat with that one. Alright, we're going to Twin Needle into Mr. Mime. Knock it down with one, and then 2 hits from one. Twin Needle manages to knock it out. Alright. Sabrina's going to send out her Alakazam. We're definitely under-leveled for this fight. We go for Twin Needle. And one Twin Needle, again, is not enough to deal enough damage with Beedrill to knock out Alakazam, but we take a Future Sight to the face, and she Hyper Potions up. Alright, one more time, we're going to Twin Needle this thing, try to chew through those healths, those healing items. She Hyper Potions one more time. And by this point, I'm getting a little frustrated. Alright, it does manage to poison, but it has no effect on Beedrill because it's a poison type as well, I believe. Alright. Sabrina's going to send in her Venomoth. What are we going to do? Switch. Yes. We're gonna send in Fearow, I'm guessing. Yep. And Fearow still shouldn't have Drill Peck at this point, I would imagine, but maybe. Nope, no Drill Peck. Okay. So Drill Peck comes online, that's just the best stab move for Fearow in my opinion. We're gonna use Peck one more time and deal it out. Alright. Alright, so we beat Sabrina. Here comes Koga. Koga is our first without Beedrill. So he's going to send in Coughing. We're sending in Golem. And we're going to try to Rock Blast it. We score a number of hits 3 times. Okay, so we hit 3 times with Rock Blast, and we get hit with Sludge. Not very effective. Okay, we're going to keep Rock Blasting, hoping to knock out the first Coughing. And we do. Golem levels up to 40. Alright, so Koga's going to use Muck. We're going to keep it, I'm guessing. I'm going to go for Magnitude. He's going to keep minimizing to raise his evasion, but I don't believe it's going to help much. He's going to Hyper Potion. That's going to help. Magnitude 10, and it hits. And finishes. Alright, so Muck is down. Let's see what Koga sends in next. Coughing. Okay, we're going to Rock Blast, or are we going to... Yeah, okay, we're going to Rock Blast. And we're going to manage to one-shot it with 5 hits on Rock Blast. 1 click, 5 hits, not bad. Alright, he's going to send Wheezing next. We're sending out our Marowak. Hunting down the Thick Club was a pain in the butt. then we're going to lose some accuracy. It's not very effective. Alright, we're gonna brick break, headbutt. Yeah, we're gonna headbutt because we have a decent attack on us. And it's still not doing much. Alright, so we're gonna just keep going. We miss with the. Okay, we're gonna get hit with a ground or sludge on our ground type. Not doing much. Try to go for another headbutt, it doesn't do anything. We get toxic. Okay, so Weezing's got our Marowak on a timer now. But it's his last Pokemon, so if he tries to go for like a self-destruct, we instant win. So it's not a horrible thing. We managed to flinch it. We get hurt by the poison. We go for another headbutt. It misses again. He goes for Sludge, dealing decent amount of chip damage. We get hurt with our poison again. We managed to get a headbutt in. Get hit with another smoke screen. Alright, now Koga's of course going to hyper potion up his Weezing, putting us in a really bad spot. But we managed to get one more hit off before Toxic takes us out. Now we're sending in Golem. We're going to Rock Blast. Alright, so it's going to Sludge our Golem, but it's not going to do much. We're going to keep Rock Blasting. 1, 2 times. Okay, damn. Okay, so it's going to Sludge us again, not doing much. I'm surprised he didn't click Toxic on Golem. Alright, so Golem manages to take out Weezing and we defeat Koga. Alright, here comes Blaine's gym battle. And we're actually decent into Blaine. We've got our Golem, we've got our Tentacruel, we've got Marowak. Blaine's usually pretty tough, but this one's a piece of cake, I believe. As I believe Glade is just gonna surf them all. Yeah, there's 2 down, yep. Yep, okay, so Ponyta's down after a 1 hit on Surf. Alright, so he's gonna send Rapidash. We're gonna Surf 1 more time. And finishing off Rapidash with 1 hit as well. He's gonna send his Arcanine, which we are leveled to meet almost. Intimidate doesn't work because we're clear body, thankfully. We're going to Surf Arcanine. And Oko it with a critical Surf. Super effective. Alright, here comes Giovanni's boss battle. He's going to send in his Rhyhorn. We're going to send in Glade. We're going to Surf. Finishing off Rhyhorn. He sends Doug Trio. One hit. Knocks out Doug Trio. Good Surf. Alright. One more Surf on Rhyhorn. Let's see if that's another critical, another super effective crit. Nice. He's going to send in Nidoking. And by this point, we have a decent answer against Nidoking. Because we Oko it. And this is the first time I've ever used a Tentacruel, and it really shocked me how good it was. Especially with the EV training I put on it. I split it between special attack, special defense, and speed, I believe. I think I maxed out special attack. Here's the rival before the Elite Four, so the Indigo Plateau area. One hit from Marowak's Rock Slide is enough to knock out Pidgeot. Gary's going to send out Execute. We're going to send in our coaster, the Fearow. We're going to Drill Pack. Drill Pack is a one-hit KO. We're going to switch to Armachamp. I'm going to Brick Break. One hit. Alright, Rhyhorn is down. Gary's going to send in his Alakazam. We don't really have a sweet option into it, but we do have decent physical moves we can do. But I don't go for that strategy for some reason. I decide to go for a special move, which is Raised Relief, I believe, in this generation, is still a special. I believe. Could be wrong. And losing Beedrill really did not help this team that much, considering the Alakazam fight. As this thing is just a tank at this point, without that Twin Needle to make it a superfluous event. It's just really hard to get through it. And I thought I had a decent amount of coverage, but for what this team was capable of, it was as best as I could do. We're going to send in Glade. The Future Sight's going to fail. We're going to get some healing. Not that we need it, but we sapped Alakazam's health a bit. We're going to Surf. It's going to use Psychic, knocking us down to 31. At this point, I'd forgot that Poison is just weak to Psychic moves, and being a Water Poison move, or Water Poison Pokemon, Tentacruel should not be sent in for that one. So we're going to send in who we should have sent in against Alakazam, and that's Camry, the Snorlax. Alright, Gyarados comes in, cuts our attack with an Intimidate, and Camry's going to take the Future Sight attack from Alakazam. We're going to Thunderbolt. We hit a Thunderbolt and do a decent amount of damage on Gyarados. Not quite finishing with one hit, but got down to mid-yellow. Alright, we're going to Thunderbolt again after we get Hydro Pumped. Knocking out Gyarados. He's going to send in Charizard. we're gonna surf, but we get wing attacked and finished off. So Glade's down. We want to send out our Marowak next to the free switch in, and we're gonna try to Earthquake, fucking forgetting that it's a ground type move on a flying type Pokemon, and yeah, doesn't go well. So we're gonna Rock Slide, but we get slashed. Now we don't have a good option. Alright, so we're gonna send out Machamp, and we're gonna use Strength or Brick Break. Okay, so we're gonna use Brick Break. We get hit with one wing attack, knocking Machamp down quite a bit, and it's not going to do much against Charizard. So we go for a Strength, but it hits us with a Flamethrower, outspeeding us, finishing off Machamp. Not good. Alright, we're going to send out Coaster next to see what it can do. We're going to go for a Drill Peck. Deal some decent damage, but a Flamethrower is going to hit us pretty hard, I'm guessing. Yep. Okotis. Saphiro, the Coaster, is down. Or I should say Coaster, the Fearow is down. Camera, the Snorlax comes back out, heals up with its leftovers a bit. We're going to go for a Body Slam after it wing attacks us. And we managed to knock out Charizard. Thank God. Now we're going to show off the team, which is something I don't often do. Being my first run, I do it. Alright. We actually managed to catch a modest-natured Tentacruel. Serious nature, calm nature for Bulbasaur. Let's see, and this is just the stats going into the Elite Four through Victory Road. I believe we're already through Victory Road at this point. This is pre-Lorelei. Alright, so hopefully you like the team. It took quite a while to try to make as well-rounded of a team with Rusty's available Pokemon, and this was about the best of it. Alright, here comes the Lorelei fight. She's going to send in Dugong. We're going to send in Snorlax. Since it's got thick fat, it's our best option, along with Thunderbolt. One Thunderbolt deals super effective damage, but it only takes it down about a third. We get pelted by hail, but we heal back up with our leftovers. Okay, so now we're gonna try to go for a Body Slam, I believe. But we get surfed. And one Body Slam is enough to deal massive damage against Dugong, paralyzing it, and knocking it down to the low red. She full restores. Not a great position to be in. Okay, we're going to do another Body Slam, dealing a little over half of its health to Dugong. We're going to get pelted by hail again. We're going to heal up a little bit, and we should make another Body Slam. It's going to use Safeguard, so her party's now covered in a veil. But one Body Slam is enough to knock out Dugong after all that. Whew. I should say the last Body Slam is enough to do it, which makes sense. Alright, Cloyster's next. heal up with leftovers a little bit. And we go for Thunderbolt. She scatters spikes around the ground on my side of the field with the Cloyster. We strike with Thunderbolt, hitting Cloyster, and we almost OHKO it. It's left on the low yellow. It goes for Protect after we use the Thunderbolt, but since it outspeeds us, it gets us Protect off before we can Thunderbolt. But that still gives us time to heal. It uses Protect again, but fails, and we're going to Thunderbolt, finishing it off. Alright, I'm going to stay in on Snorlax. Get Slowbro. And we're back to full health with leftovers. We're going to go for we should have gone for a Shadow Ball, but we go for a Body Slam to try to deal damage. And it doesn't do horrible damage, so it's good enough. But looking back, I would have taken advantage of the Shadow Ball. Go for a Thunderbolt next. It's super effective, but it doesn't do much because he raises special defense with Amnesia. We get surfed and taken down to 209 from 259. We heal up to 225, and we Thunderbolt again. Taking it down to low red, it yawns. And that's not good, because we don't have rest on this Snorlax's build. Or Sleep Talk. It's straight utility. So we switch out. We go for Glade. Alright. Glade gets hurt by the spikes. Slowbro outspeeds us, of course, so we get hit with Surf. It's not very effective. And we're going to Surf. Well, that's a poor decision. But it was enough to deal enough damage to knock out Slowbro. I would have acided looking back. Alright, we're going to send in Machamp. I'm guessing. Yes, okay. Sending in Champ, the Machamp. We get hit with spikes. She's going to send in Jinx, which is not a good matchup. But I've got Flamethrower and Brick Break, so I should be fine. Brick Break doesn't do much, but it's a physically frail Pokemon, so it should, yeah, it outcoded. Okay, that's good. And this one's straight speed and attack stat for that Machamp. We're going to send in Camry. Gets hurt with the spikes. And Lorelei's going to send in her Lapras. We're going to heal up a little bit. And we're going to go for Thunderbolt, but we get outsped and hit with Confuse Ray. We're confused. And we're going to hurt ourselves in confusion, of course. Oh boy. Alright, so we're going to heal up a little bit with leftovers. And we're going to try to go for another Lightning Bolt, but we get hit with our Thunderbolt, and we hit it after we get hit with Surf. Okay, so the Thunderbolt does decent damage, but it only took it down by like a quarter to our little over half. So now we're about the same with healing up. She surfs again, knocking us down to 143. We Thunderbolt again. Knocking it down to about a third life left. Its Citrus Berry heals it up though, into the green. We heal up a little bit with our leftovers. We're still in the green, but we're a little better in the green now. And we just keep going for Thunderbolt, not really thinking. I knew it would do super effective damage, so I knew spamming it would help, but looking back, I would have gone for a body slam to try to paralyze it. Oh, no, I do. Okay. That's good. I would have done it sooner, though. Alright. I don't know if her Lapras has shell armor or the other one. I don't know what ability it has. Alright, here comes Bruno. And Bruno is going to have a decent fight, I think, for what this team was capable of. I don't think this team could have even done the rematch, to be honest. So, good thing I didn't do it. We're going to surf on Onyx. And this should OHKO it. Yeah. Okay, another surf should be enough. Alright. Alrighty. We're going to switch into Coaster to fight the fighting types with Drill Peck. Because I knew that was super effective and deals good damage. One hit hits Hitmonchan out. He's gonna send in his ace Machamp. So we're gonna send in our Machamp. Nope. Oh, yep, okay, we do, finally. So I was curious which one was stronger, even though mine's coming in with a little bit less health. I know his was at 56, but ours is at 55. But EV trained. Brick Break, one and done with a critical Brick Break on his Machamp. Champ takes the belt. Alright, Hitmonlee is next. And we're going to switch back into Fearow. Alright, we're going to hit a Drill Peck most likely. Hitmonlee. The better of the Hitmons, in my opinion. One super effective Drill Peck is enough to deal damage and OHKO the Hitmonlee, defeating Bruno. Alright, now with Bruno gone, a little bit more talking, and we go to Agatha. This one's got me on the edge of my seat because Agatha's always a little bit of a pain. Alright, we're going to send out Camry, and we're going to Shadow Ball. Gengar goes for double team, stacking its evasion. We managed to hit through it with a Shadow Ball. With our massive attack, since Shadow Ball is a physical move in this generation, somehow it manages to be really good. So Golbat, we're going to send in if we go Glade, we could go with Ice Beam, but yeah, we're going to Drill Peck. It Poison Fangs this. We're going to keep Drill Pecking since it did decent damage, and that's enough to knock out Golbat. She's going to send in Arbok. We're going to send in Marowak. Go whack. Alright, Agatha sends in Arbok. We're going to get the Intimidate to the face. We shouldn't have done that, but we're going to go for Brick Break, not thinking about it. I probably clicked it too quick and hit the wrong button. It does happen from time to time with everybody, I think. Alright, we go for Earthquake. And And Earthquake is enough to knock it out. Haunter's coming up next, and we're going to send in Camry, our Snorlax. We're going to go for a Shadow Ball. It goes for Hypnosis but misses, thankfully. That would have given it a lot of time to set up on us. One Shadow Ball is enough to knock out Haunter. Now we have her ace, the big Gengar. The one that is level 58. We're going to get Sludge Bombed. Dealing a decent chunk. One Shadow Ball manages to get through, and it's super effective, but leaves it on red. And that's not good because it's going to heal right back up with Citrus Berry. But we take a little bit of health ourselves by leftovers. We go for a Shadow Ball. We get hit with another Sludge Bomb. And that's Erica's ace, or not Erica's ace, Agatha's ace down. Here comes Lance. Lance is a problem in every game. Even with Ice Beam, it's still never... Alright, so Lance is going to send in his Gyarados lead. We're going to send in Glade. Because you know Clear Body will prevent the Intimidate from working. And we're thinking at this point. Hopefully. Alright, we're going to shift into Camry. Snorlax to tank a Dragon Rage to the face. Not dealing a ton, but dealing about 40 something almost. We heal up a little bit. We're going to go for a Thunderbolt, but we get hit with another Dragon Rage. We hit a Thunderbolt, knocking Gyarados down to high yellow. We heal up a little bit with our leftovers. It bites, Gyarados bites us, we flinch, we heal up. Worst places to be in at this point, but we take a Hyper Beam. That's not good. So I did not buff his defense. I buffed his special attack. And didn't even worry about his speed. I think I buffed his special attack and his attack just to maximize his ability with probably 2 points in health or a couple points in health. Alright, we are debating on what to do at this point because we know what's coming out. Let me go for Marowak. He sends an Aerodactyl. We go for a Rock Slide. Wing attack hits us, dealing a decent amount of damage. Rock Slide connects and deletes his Aerodactyl. Good. He's going to send in his Dragonite, I believe. And we're going to go for some Ice Beam on Glade, the Tentacruel. And this should be his strongest Dragonite, which I believe had Thunderbolt on it. But he uses Wing Attack on us. Dealing a decent portion of damage, take us down to half health with one Wing Attack. But then he heals up with a Citrus Berry, and we go for another Ice Beam. And this should be enough to finish with 2 hits. Yep. Strongest Dragonite is down. He's going to send in his Dragonair. We're not going to switch. We're going to Ice Beam one more time. Hopefully this will be enough to end it for this Dragonair. And it is a critical Ice Beam, super effective. Alright, Dragonair faints. Let's go send in another one. We're just gonna keep Ice Beaming him until he's dead. But it still manages to hang on, but it's frozen. I love when I can freeze something. Alright, because now we're going to hit it with another Ice Beam, because he's going to use a full restore. And it's super effective, but it doesn't quite finish it. He's going to hit another full restore on it. So we're chewing through our power points for Ice Beam, but we're also chewing through heals. And we're just hoping for a good high roll. And we managed to outspeed on the last one. He doesn't try to use a full restore. I believe he's limited to 2 in this fight. Alright, we defeat Lance, and the champion fight is coming right up next. And here comes Gary. Alright, this is the big moment. Pidgeot's getting sent out. His lead, of course. Even though he replaced it with Heracross, and his Rhydon gets replaced with Tyranitar. Both good swaps, in my opinion. And for the rematch fight, we're going to Thunderbolt. It's going to keep getting sand attacked, lowering our Snorlax's accuracy, but we managed to go through it and strike a Thunderbolt onto the Pidgeot, but dealing half. It hits us with an Aerial Ace, dealing a crit amount of damage. We heal up a little bit back up, and we're going to try to Thunderbolt again. Now, if I would have been thinking better in this fight, I would have sent out Marowak to Rock Slide, but it is what it is. I'm not perfect in these runs, damn sure not perfect. Alright, we're out of power points for Thunderbolt. He goes for a full restore, of course. We had a body slam and heal up a little bit. Go for a Blizzard, knowing its accuracy is low, but if it hits, it's going to do good damage. And managed to get another freaking sand attack in our face. Managed to hit a Blizzard. And it's going to take down to the low or mid yellow. But it's going to freeze Pidgeot in a place where I don't think he's going to full restore it. So I believe we go for another body slam. But it misses. How do I miss a frozen Pidgeot? I mean, it's on the ground, frozen solid, can't do anything, and you miss it still? Alright. One more body slam is enough to actually finish off Pidgeot. Now we're into Alakazam. And this thing, oh, it was a pain in the butt. I remember this. Thinking that a good Shadow Ball would be enough to take it out with a good physical move. And since Ghosts are supposed to be strong and Psychic, Ghost moves at least, but it hits us with a Psychic, knocking us down a decent little chunk. We heal up a little bit more, and hopefully we can score a hit. But it Psychics us again, since it outspeeds us. But like, what doesn't? We hit a Shadow Ball. And it doesn't hardly do anything. Alright, so we're going to go for a body slam after it future sights us. And the Camry misses its body slam. That body slam would have been enough to probably finish it, but of course it missed. So we go for another body slam. We get hit with another psychic down to 92, and we miss another body slam. Reflect wears off though. We heal a little bit. Uses reflect again. We hit a body slam finally, and it doesn't do much. And we take a future sight attack to the face. Go for Shadow Ball. Get hit with another Psychic. Get hit down to 7. Our special defense falls. And we miss the move. Damn. My accuracy for this Snorlax was just horrible. And Snorlax is down from that Psychic. Alright, we're going to send in Coaster, knowing that it's physically strong, and the stab Joe Peck should be enough to deal a good chunk of damage. But it one-shots Coaster. Our Fearow is down. Now things are starting to look interesting. We send out Marowak. We Earthquake. Just trying to deal strong damage. And Earthquake. Let's see if it hits. It does hit. And it finishes off Alakazam, thankfully. He's going to send in Executor, and we don't have an answer for it. The same as we did before, because Coaster's down. And so is Snorlax. We've got Flamethrower, just in case that happened. It doesn't do enough without Stab to actually kill the Executor. But another Flamethrower just will whittle away a little bit more damage. There we go. It's down to the red. It Sleep Powders and manages to hit Machamp with it, and we go to sleep, and he full restores. So now I have to chew through that again. Now I gotta wait to wake up. Hopefully we can wake up. We're gonna Flamethrower again, but we're still fast asleep. Another Giga Drain. We are in a bad way. Alright. We Giga Drain on us. Alright, and that takes Champ down to 2 HP. Champ finally wakes up, does a Flamethrower. Only probably be knocked out. Yep, one more Giga Drain, and that's enough to do Tramp in. Alright, so we send in Bulbasaur, or we're gonna send in. Who we gonna send in? I would send in Glade to do an Ice Beam, but I didn't. We go for our own Sleep Powder. I go for the Sleep Strat instead of the Ice Beam Strat. Alright, we're going to Razor Leaf. It's not going to do much, but... And it wakes up, of course. Light Screen. We're going to go for another Sleep Powder. It hits also, thankfully. And here's where the fight starts getting a little more interesting again, because we're going to send out something else. We're sending out Marowak. And we're going to try to do anything we can with this. Rock slide, I'm guessing. Nope, earthquake. An earthquake does a good chunk of damage. We do another earthquake and finish off executor. See, I would have kept something else in on that one, I think, looking back. Even if it worked, it wasn't optimal. Alright. And that's pretty much this whole team summed up. It works, but it's not great. It's not optimal. Alright, we're going to go for a Sleep Putter on Gyarados, which is smart, even though they tend to wake up quickly. We're going to go for a Raised Relief to check to see how much damage it's actually going to do instead of setting up growth. And it doesn't do much. So we just keep chewing into the Raised Relief instead of going with the growth, not wanting to risk the wake up. Of course it wakes up and does a Dragon Rage on us. And this is getting interesting. So we're going to use Sleep Putter again and manage to land it a third time in a row, which is unheard of for a freaking Venusaur for me. We're going to use Synthesis to gain some health back. Back at full. We're going to use Raise Relief. You get a crit, Raise Relief, and put Gyarados down into the red. And it stays asleep, but Gary's going to use another full restore on it. Waking it up and healing it fully, of course. We do another Raise Relief, another critical, this time getting it into mid-green. He withdraws Gyarados to send in Charizard. We send our move already, so its Sleep Putter manages to hit a fourth time in a row, which is unheard of. And then we switch into Marowak for a Rock Slide. Which I'm hoping works. This whole the whole run revolves around this one. Yes, thankfully. Alright, good. One Rock Slide is enough to take out Charizard. The whole run that was the whole crux of it. We level up to 56. He's not sending Gyarados. I should have kept it on Marowak and just gone for a Rock Slide again, because the flying type and water type for Gyarados would have done a lot more damage, I think. But I go with what I went with before and go for a fifth one. Wow. His accuracy must have got really good as a Venusaur. So we're going to use Raise Relief on the sleeping Gyarados, putting it down into the yellow. Another Raise Relief, shifting it down a little bit into the lower yellow. It thrashes after waking up. Now we're going to hit another Raise Relief and hope to God that it faints. And it doesn't, and it hits another thrash. This battle was painful to have to deal with. Alright, so he's going to send in his Rhydon, and we should be able to clean this one up easily. Alright, we're going to Surf. That should be a one and done on that. Yeah, it's an Oko for Rhydon. And yeah, so let me know if you enjoyed my Pokemon Rusty battle montage, or should I say story battle montage. Please, this is my first video. Try to be kind. I get a little better in my later videos, I think. And I'm going to start playing with set rules, the set mode after a while. So, yeah, if you liked it, let me know. Uh, Feel free to like the video. Feel free to share it with your friends. Feel free to, criticize me in the comments slightly. If it's constructive, I'll take it. But yeah, let me know what you thought, and please subscribe. Thank you.